Yeah.
The Miami Heat have once again suspended Jimmy Butler. This time, they're saying the suspension is indefinite and it's
Hmm.
for a minimum of 5 games. And the
Hmm.
key words in their press release was that there was a continued pattern of disregard of team rules, engaging in conduct detrimental to the team, and intentionally withholding services. Now,
Hmm.
when players get suspended, there is
Hmm.
2 ways that they can get suspended, right? Conduct detrimental to the team means that the
Hmm.
suspension for someone like Jimmy Butler would be around 300K per game that they're suspended for.
Hmm.
But the
Hmm.
fact that they said failure to render services meant that
Hmm.
he's now losing 500K per game. The 5 game suspension is going to cost him 2.6, no, $2.7 million.
Hmm.
And it might be more than 5 games if they don't get a trade done in that time. So
Hmm.
the ironic part is the entire Jimmy Butler issue comes down to money, and
Hmm.
he wanted to get traded because he wanted more money on a contract extension. But now
Hmm.
he's stuck in Miami losing
Hmm.
money.
Hmm.
And for someone who seems to care about money more than winning, this is not a great place to be in. Do you think Jimmy
Hmm.
Butler knew this would happen and he intentionally withheld his services? Because you can see him on the court, he wasn't giving his maximum effort, he's not showing up to practice, so on and so forth. Do you think this is a strategic move from
Hmm.
Jimmy Butler to force his way
Well,
out of Miami even more? Or do you think this is just Pat Riley standing on
well,
business?
no. Well, if it's a strategy, I'm not fond of the strategy. Let me just be clear about that. One of the things that I did read, again, not there, but did read mentioned that I guess that shoot around when he was informed that he was not going to be a part of the starting lineup, that's when he walked off the court and left the court, and that's when this suspension came down. Look, here's the deal, and here's why I sit on this thing. Everybody is involved as a part of this is in professional basketball. Pat Riley has a job as a professional, as the president of basketball operations, to put together a team and hold everybody accountable in the building. Eric Spoelstra has a job as a coach to coach that team to the very best ability, whether he's feeling well, not feeling well, whether he agrees with all the personnel he has on the team or not. He's got to coach all 15, 18 guys, how many they have in that locker room. And Jimmy Butler, along with all the players, signs a contract that says he is going to play basketball, and especially when healthy, for sure. It is his job to play the game, whether it's playing 40 minutes or 4 minutes. That is his job. That is what you sign up for in the contract. So that's when I say I'm not fond of this. Yeah, I know he may be frustrated and I know he may want out, but this is not a way to do it because this is not exhibiting professional behavior, in my opinion. And we talked about this yesterday, Mo, about this impacting the thoughts and minds of other front offices across the league as they try to decide whether we want to trade for this guy. You see all of this manifesting itself, and you sit back and you say, well, what if, this could happen to our building? Do I really want to deal with this? You can't just assume, okay, he wants out, he gets traded, now he's happy. Okay, he may be temporarily happy for 4 or 5 weeks or whatever the case may be. But if something's not going right in the new place, what is he showing here, especially of recent times, that he is not engaged with the team? So
Hmm.
this is not good for him. If I was advising him, I would tell him, you got to suck it up, be a professional. You know what that means. That means be on time. When your name is called, you go out there and compete, play hard. That will help you get traded easier and quicker than the path that I think he's going on right now.
Hmm. I just think it's insane the lack of
Hmm.
professionalism in
Yeah.
professional basketball. I
Hmm.
really do think it's crazy because there's no
Hmm.
other job in the world. If you or I go to the TV network and we
Hmm.
just decide we don't want to do the show because we're not going to
Right.
be the first person to answer a question and someone else is answering the question for it, and I say, no, I'm not doing it, and I walk out, I would get
Right.
fired.
Okay.
If I
Yeah.
turned up late to the rehearsal, I will get fired. This is the only job in the world where you can act like a diva and fans still try and rationalize it. So I have a lot of respect for Pat Riley, Coach
No
Bo,
question.
not putting
There's
up
no
with this
question.
nonsense. You know, Jimmy, if you're not going to
No
be
question.
present at shoot around, you're not going to be in the starting lineup. Pat Riley says, well, if you're not going to be a shoot around, you're not going to be on the team. I
Yeah.
respect it so highly, the way they're handling this situation. And here's the thing. In a negotiation, right? The person who wins the negotiation is the person who has the leverage. Jimmy Butler thought he has the leverage, but Pat Riley has reminded him, we don't care because we don't even have to pay you your salary. If you're going to act like this and you're not going to try and help the team win, you can sit at home, run your coffee
Yeah.
shop, but you ain't getting a penny from us.
Well, see what this says, Mo, and what I've always been a big proponent of. No one player is bigger than the entire organization or the league, for that matter. Now, we've obviously seen players reach superstar status, and at varying times, throughout the course of the NBA, from its beginning. But still, no how big the superstar becomes, he's not bigger than the organization. And that's what Pat Riley is saying here to Jimmy Butler and to all the players and the fans at large. No, it's about the Miami Heat. You signed a contract to be a part of a team. So you've got to be a part of the team. And the again, no matter how important you may think you are as a player, inevitably you're going to be replaced, either by time or somebody coming behind you that's better. That's just a fact. And I remember when I was a little kid, I'll share this story. When I was a really young kid, my dad was a former NFL football player, but we sit up watch sports all the time. We were watching basketball this one particular weekend, and Dr. J. Dr. J was the biggest thing for us, coming
Yeah.
up. And I said, man, there's never going to be another Dr. J. I just happened to say that. I don't know. I was probably 10, 11 years old, or whatever the case may be at the time. And my dad said, hold on a minute. He said, let me tell you something. He said, there's always going to be somebody that comes along that's better or can replace you. And sure enough, we watched it. Here come Magic and Bird, taking the place of Dr. J. Here comes Michael Jordan, doing his thing. And then Kobe Bryant. Then you have LeBron, and you have, Steph. And it's just,
Then you have
it's
Eamon
a continued
Thompson.
spectrum. And yeah, exactly. Right. And so, who knows who's going to develop into that next, great player. So players have to realize that and understand it. And they're better off, not only in the short term, but in the long term, handling situations like this in the most professional manner. Because when they're done playing, a lot of times, a lot of these guys want to come back and be involved in the game. But now you have owners and front office people that are watching and observing this type of activity and behavior, and they're going to say, we'll pass.
Yeah.
And that's the unfortunate thing. And so hopefully Jimmy reconciles this and figures, because we said this yesterday, Mo, there is a very real possibility that he's a part of the Miami Heat for the remainder of this season.